of braking and turning at the same time, you're going to overload the single tire. A lot of beginning drivers, when they're making right turns or left turns, they brake and they turn very aggressive. It's kind of like skidding out on your bike. All of you have ridden a bike before, so if you hit the front brakes and turn real hard, you're going to overload the tire and flip. So same thing when you drive. So you have to brake before you get into the turn. To steer a vehicle smoothly and precisely, look toward the intended path of travel. Beginning drivers look down at their hands. They stare at the steering wheel. They don't look where they're going. So that's why a lot of beginning drivers crash, because they don't look where they're going. They're concerned with what other cars are doing, or they're looking at their hands. So look where you want to go. Same thing when you ride a bike. If you're going around a corner to the right, you should be turning your head and looking to the right. If you're making a left turn on the street, you should be pedaling and kind of coasting as you make your left turn, and then you pedal out. When making a right turn at an intersection onto a two-way street, you should turn from the lane closest to the right curb, unless it's allowed from another lane. I saw that question on social media. Always turn into the nearest lane on your driving test, because we're trying to prepare you for your driving test when you turn 16. You need to turn into the correct lane. If you're making a left turn, the nearest lane is by the double yellow. But what if I have 3 lanes that I'm making a left turn? If you're in the middle lane, you stay in the middle lane. If you're in the right lane making a left turn, you stay in the right lane. If you're in the inside left turn lane, you stay in that lane. But beginning drivers don't do that. You cut across lanes. That is a dangerous maneuver. You'll end up failing your test, and you won't make your parents really happy. You don't want to scare your parents. You don't want to scare your instructor, or no one is going to want to drive with you. Then you won't get your hours until 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 5 months from now. So you've got to put some work in to make your parents trust you. A parked car on your right. A parked car is on your right. What lane position should you move to? The center left. Parking lots are very dangerous places. You have kids, adults, people walking between cars. You might be looking down. You might be adjusting the radio, looking at a text, and then you hit someone, or someone backs out really fast because they're in a hurry. All of you are high school students, or you might be taking classes on the college campus. If you speed in the parking lot, you're probably going to hit someone, because people will walk out right in front of you, and people don't have bumpers on their butts. You hit someone, then you will go to jail. So I'm just letting you know this, and then you will get upset and frustrated because you're going to be late to school, and you have 25 kids walking slowly with their friends, and you have to get the last parking spot because you are a sophomore and they're seniors. There's nothing you can do, because if you park in the wrong spot, you're going to get a ticket and get your car towed. You're not a senior. You're not a junior. If you are, you failed a couple of grades, or you've taken driver's ed really late. Next, if you must leave the road at a high speed with no open space to travel, choose to hit a small object with a glancing blow. You want to sideswipe an object. You don't want to hit a tree, because trees don't give. You don't want to hit a car head on. Those are the worst type of collisions, head-on collisions. You want to sideswipe. You'll see questions on your knowledge test. I like going over information, but if you don't take good notes, typically you're going to miss about 15 questions. If you take decent notes and you kind of guess, you might miss 8 or 10. So I can look at the data from the last 100 tests, and based on your study habits and you taking notes, I can tell when most of you will probably get 12 wrong, 15 wrong. Those kids who play and waste time, miss days, try to guess, you're going to end up missing 25 and barely pass. Don't be that kid. Take it from me. Study. Do well on your quizzes. Do well on your gamified classroom, where I give you different driving activities to do. Yes, you can make excuses. This boring. This sucks. It is what it is. Some people love online classes. Some people hate online classes. But driving companies, colleges and schools, and community colleges offer online classes because it fits everyone's schedule. And your parents, most of your parents pay for this, not you. Because when we're talking about money, unless you guys have real jobs, this class costs over $500. So you do need your parents. So show them love and care. That's my suggestion. Next, in an urban area, who are frequent road users besides passenger vehicles? We have bicyclists because these guys and ladies are delivering packages to downtown areas. We have people on mopeds. Now it's the e-bikes. Okay, they're across the world. And these bikes go 30, 40, 50. People don't wear helmets. They wear regular gear. When they crash, it's just like being on a motorcycle, except it's an e-bike. Some of you may have an e-bike. And then the last group are pedestrians. Pedestrians should be walking with the flow of the traffic, but pedestrians walk between cars before the sidewalk area. That's called jaywalking. They can get a ticket, but if you're not paying attention, say like Ivan is looking down right now, he just hit a person. All I'm saying, okay? Just calling people out. A rider's kind of tired. You know, he had a long practice session. A kid jumped out on his yellow, greenish colored light. He's not paying attention. He's tired. You just hit a kid or a car. So you really have to be aware in heavy, heavy downtown areas, downtown Detroit, Michigan, downtown Chicago, Illinois, downtown Houston, Texas, downtown Los Angeles, California. They have hundreds and thousands of people in a very compact area, and people don't care. They're going to walk out right in front of you. And if you hit them, it's your fault. Good luck with that when you're late to your concert or you're late to see your pro sports. People don't care. Next, which of the following helps determine a safe speed in rural environments? The road surface. Gravel roads, dirt roads are very dangerous. They have soft shoulders. You can lose control of the car, but drivers speed on dirt roads. They're not heavily patrolled. There are no traffic lights. They're hills. I have some videos of cars catching air, going up, but they're really dangerous. So dirt roads, gravel roads, off roads are more dangerous than paved roads because people tend to forget how to drive, and then you have deer, tractors, soft shoulders, ruts in the road, and then you're going to lose control and flip your car. A gentleman flipped his Mustang a few days ago in the metro area. You can look it up, and people just videoed him because a lot of people tend to just take over streets, take over roads, but then they're going to take cars. So don't be that kid that gets your car taken. What is the visual cue that a safe re-entry of your lane when passing? You are passing a vehicle. You can see them in your rear view mirror. I'm trying to get more of you to look in your rear view mirror. I'm trying to get you to identify what's going on. We always drive with our right foot only, unless we're driving a manual. Then we use our left foot to push in the clutch. 85 to 90% of our cars in the United States cars are automatics. In the UK, Australia, India, they drive manuals. That doesn't make them any better than us. That doesn't make us any better than them. You need to learn how to drive a manual also too. How much space should you give a bicyclist when passing them? About 3 feet. A reasonable and prudent speed for any condition is the speed that gives a safe path of travel. If it's raining or snowing, reduce your speed. If it's heavy traffic, reduce your speed. If you're driving at night, reduce your speed. Driving on rural roads can be especially hazardous due to the curves and hills. We've had 3 questions on country roads, rural roads. You should see a pattern. You're going to have 3 to 5 questions on rural roads. Remember, I'm a teacher. I'm very thorough. I can tell the questions you miss and whether you're really listening or not. When traffic is slow and heavy, you must cross railroad tracks before reaching an intersection. You should wait until you can completely cross the tracks. You never want to get stuck or stand on the railroad track. This is when people get killed. When passing a car in heavy traffic, firm acceleration can assist to quickly increase your speed. A lot of you are scared to push the gas pedal because you hear the sound of the engine. Your adrenaline is going, so you want to use smooth, steady pressure. You are under 21 and walking home from a party where you consumed alcohol. What could you be charged with? A minor in possession. It's called MIP. You still can get in trouble. So you have to make some educated decisions. How should you hold the steering wheel in an off-road recovery situation? Both hands on the wheel. There's no one best way to hold the steering wheel. Well, my mom drives at 9 and 3. My dad drives at 10 and 2. My uncle drives at 84. No one cares. Let's have both hands on the wheel. Which of these is the proper way to change lanes? Check your mirrors, blind spot signal, check again, and then change lanes. A lot of you won't look over your shoulder and check your blind spot. You'll cut off a car. That's a dangerous maneuver, and you could fail your test. Implied consent. You give your consent to be tested for alcohol. Once you sign your permit, level 1, level 2, your privacy is gone. If an officer feels that you're under the influence, they can pull you over for a field sobriety test. They can test you, have you do some steps. They can have you count a mathematical equation backwards, forwards. They usually have you blow into a small breathalyzer. They can also look at your pupils. That is on the test, just letting you know this. Type in what you learned, please. Type in what you learned. We're going over critical information to help all of you become a better driver. I need you to continue to listen. I'm going to go over some questions you have. Could I drive with my left foot because my right foot doesn't work normally? You have to cross over. That doesn't really make sense. But
you want us to just type in like a few things?
Yes, I want you to type in a few things you learned. Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
So you want to be efficient. Okay. And if your foot is hurt, maybe you shouldn't be driving. Okay, I'm going to go over some questions. You put more questions in, guys. Okay, let's go over these questions right now. I want to keep it going. I asked you to put some questions in, so I'm going to go back at the top. Ask you guys to putting your information in. This is the chance for me to go over some quick information to help you guys. I need each of you to type in what you learned. Also put a question in. These are tips for new drivers. 1, parking skills. You've got to work on your parking skills. You will be going to a high school, a community college. You might be going to a college to take a test, so you have to know how to parallel park. Practice parallel parking and angle parking. Master these techniques. You'll go to a downtown area, maybe to a professional football game, professional basketball game. You have to learn how to parallel park. If you don't, you're going to pay $40 to $60 for a parking spot. And if you've never been to a downtown area, that's what they charge, and they may charge more. Night driving. Many of you have never driven at night. Only a few of you have, less than 4 of you. Driving cautiously at night. Dim your headlights when approaching other vehicles. We learned that yesterday. You don't want to have your high beams on when approaching other cars. You will be blinded. You want to look to the edge line to the right. That is that white line. Rainy weather. You guys have not driven in rain. It's going to be very scary. It's first slickest when it first starts to rain because you have to reduce your speed in rain or storms. Wet roads can be very slippery. Snow and ice. We're in the summer. None of you have driven in snow and ice. You're going to have to relearn your driving fundamentals in snow and ice. We're in the Midwest. We have very cold roads. And as a result, some of you could end up in a ditch. You're going to leave late. You're going to end up getting and missing days. You're going to be put on an attendance hearing because your parents leave early. They put money in your account. They don't know you leave late. You pick up your friends. You don't get up late. They leave early. So now you have 7 absences. You have 10 tardies. So make sure you get up early. Emergency kits. Keep an emergency kit. Flashlight, first aid kit, jumper cables, in case your car does break down. New cars do also break down too. You always have blind spots. Therefore, in the front, behind you, to the left, and to the right. You have to look over your shoulder. I'm looking over my shoulder. Blind spot mirrors do not take away blind spot mirrors. Bigger mirrors do not take away blind spots. You still have to look. Fuel management. Don't let your fuel tank run too low. Running out of gas may be an inconvenience and unsafe. It will heat up the fuel pump in your tank. Most of your cars today have an intake fuel pump. And if you let your levels run below 1/4 of a tank, your fuel pump is going to heat up and you will damage your fuel pump, costing you $300 to $500. Tire pressure. Regularly check your tire pressure to maintain it with the recommended range. When your tires are properly inflated, they help dissipate heat. In the winter, you'll have better traction. You don't want to overfill your tires. You definitely don't want to have them underfilled. You need to look on open up your door, and on the side of the door jamb, you'll have the manufacturer's recommendation of tire pressure, or look on the tires themselves. Seat adjustment. Adjust your seat for comfort and proper visibility. I always try to show you this. You want to have a 90-degree bend in your legs. You want to be able to pivot your right foot between the brake and gas. You want to come in, adjust your seat. First, you want to come and put in your seatbelt, adjust your seat. Then you want to adjust your mirrors. All right, are you asleep or are you okay? I'm scared. It's like Ryder fell asleep. See, you're getting ready to run over a kid. Who's driving the school bus? Come on, Ryder. We need you, son. Nonverbals. I know. So you got to take care of yourself at night. All of you are doing things, baseball, football, track, but you have to rest at night. You've got to stay hydrated, and you need mental health. Right of way. We know beginning drivers are confused at right of way. They mix up a yield sign and stop sign. You yield means you slow down. You let cars go by who are there first. You let pedestrians go by. Stop means a complete stop for a minimum of 3 seconds. Well, my mom blows stop signs. My dad blows stop signs. My big brother blows stop signs. So you see this, so you think it's okay. So you start doing it and you don't get caught. But one day when you go to school, the police will be parked there. And then you're going to get a ticket and all your friends are going to take a picture and post it on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You have to build good habits now. You should be driving just as if the police are there and just as if the police are not. No one gets a special pass, okay? And law enforcement is out there looking for distracted drivers, people under the influence, people driving aggressively. Turn signals. Always use your turn signal. Many of you have seen the biggest offense is that people not using their turn signals. So if you get lazy and don't use turn signals and you cut off a car and you hit them, you're the younger driver. You're going to get hit. They had a dash cam. Yep, they didn't have on their blinker. They hit me. Well, I guess you get the ticket. Your insurance, your mom and dad's insurance goes up. You're grounded for 1 year. Roundabouts. Learn how to navigate safely through roundabouts. Yield when there's traffic in there. Highway mergers. Merge into the highway at a safe speed. Beginning drivers go too slow. Big trucks are coming. You panic. Very rarely do they drive at the speed limit. They always drive slower. Avoid tailgating. Maintain a safe distance between you and the other vehicle. In some states, if you rear end someone, you're at fault. Avoid overconfidence. That's for all of us, but more particularly you. Why? Because many younger drivers are impatient. They get very emotional. You haven't had a ticket for 6 months. You think you're invincible. You start speeding. You cut off a truck. Then now you have an accident because you get overconfident. So that's a word of wisdom to you. Confidence is good, but overconfidence leads to mistakes. Stay humble and alert. Avoid road rage. Keep your cool in traffic situations. Aggressive driving doesn't help anyone. If an old lady cuts you off, so be it. If an enemy from your rival school cuts you off, so be it. And they're going to videotape you and laugh. Like Muhammad's laughing, right? He's laughing at you. Yeah, I cut off that kid. He's not going to do anything. And your friends are like, ooh, you let him punk you like that? I'm ignoring him and I'm driving the speed limit. Some of your friends can't handle that. They're going to chase him. Child safety. If you have kids, none of you should have kids. Your parents have younger siblings. Use appropriate car seats and seat belts. Animal crossing. Be cautious of animals like deer. Learn basic car maintenance. Know how to change a flat tire. Many of you do not know how to do this. Check the oil levels. You don't know how to do it. Replace the windshield wipers. You might do that in the wintertime because your windshield wiper blades won't work. But then you got to make a choice. Do I put $20 in my tank and get a coffee, or do I spend $7.99 on wipers? You get the coffee and you won't get your wipers. And then you say, Mom and Dad, I need more money. What? We gave you $40 the last 3 days. I just need some money, please. Pedestrian safety. Yield to pedestrians at crosswalk. Avoid sudden stops. Brake gentle to avoid sudden stops. A lot of you slam brakes. Use your horn sparingly. Avoid driving when tired. A lot of you are tired right now. You can look at people's faces. They're like this. That's how some of you look. You look exhausted. I've been where you've been. If I'm that tired, don't drive. All right. We're going to ask you to put some questions in, and then you're going to get into a couple quizzes right now. What should you do behind an aggressive driver? Maintain speed. Let them drive around you. Ignore them. It's not good to rent a car under a fourth of a tank. Is it good to check your tires frequently? You have to, because if your tires overheat, they're going to explode. And then you're going to be stuck on the side of the road, not knowing how to change your tire. It depends on going under speed. 5 to 10 under the speed limit. You might have to drive 15 under the limit. If the speed limit is 70, you might have to drive 60. You might have to drive 55. You can get a ticket for driving at the speed limit when it's bad weather outside. You must drive at a speed that is safe and reasonable for the conditions on the road. When you're parallel parking, what angle you want to be at a 45 angle, you back at a 45 angle. When you're halfway past the car, you turn your wheel all the way to the right. Everyone has a different thing. You line your back mirror up with the front handle. Keep it simple. Everyone has a different way. Line your car up, back halfway, turn your wheel all the way to the right. The rear will go in at a 45 angle. Once you buy the car, turn the wheel the opposite way. Many drivers, adults and teens, make this too hard. If you can't parallel park, you won't pass your road test. You have to practice. Yes, you can get a ticket for driving too slow. I thought it was solid. Thank you.